Hey, what's going on? My name is DaRealLegend, and we are here with another guide for how to get good players in NBA 2K Mobile. Today, we will be breaking down the Domination event. This might be an unpopular opinion, but this event requires strategy and an in-depth preparation, especially if you're going to the event solo. Having the highest power team is simply not good enough, and we will break down the steps you need to survive in Domination. This guide will help new, experienced, and free-to-play players, and I hope will bridge the gap for all players. So let's get into it. So step number 1, remove all your mentors. By removing all your mentors, you truly will know what your best players' power levels are, and this is important in helping you with step number 2, which is balancing your teams. Once you remove your mentors, head into your collection. Alright, so step number 2 is balance teams, right? Sort your collection by player position in order to compare your top 3 players. So we're going to do that right now. So my top point guard is Magic Johnson, and my second highest is Lonzo Ball. I want to make sure that Lonzo's power is always below Magic Johnson, so my team's overall power doesn't increase. The key is to go into domination with multiple teams around the same power, since we are being matched up with players at the same level. So for example, 2 teams of 5,100 will help you overpower 1 team of 5,100, right? It gives you an advantage. Don't do any upgrades yet until we discuss all the steps. The goal is to have 2 to 3 balanced teams. It's almost impossible to have 5 teams unless you have a crazy amount of coins to constantly simulate seasons. Step number 3 is to use your upgrades wisely. You should only upgrade players when you need to meet power requirements for a higher tier event reward. So for example, for ONYX rewards as your event reward, a new season, like when the ONYX seasons drop, or when a Domination event is around. Do not upgrade before you join the Domination event. Very important. If you are free to play, you can train players and sometimes upgrade in mini Domination to help you get rewards or collectibles for sets. Upgrading after the Domination event starts will give your team a power advantage against the other teams and groups in the bracket. If you are solo, you have to upgrade constantly during the event to keep your team power higher than the groups. It is important to grind seasons and head-to-head during the event to get more draft picks, to get players and rings for crafting new players for upgrades. Super important for solo players. So just to give you a little insight, right? I have all these amethysts. I normally save all my foundation cards to upgrade my players for Domination. I will even look at ONYX. I have all these ONYX. I have 3 of the Kristaps Porzingis. That will make an easy upgrade for Domination since Porzingis is my top power forward. Now you might say to yourself, why did I upgrade the Lonzo Ball? Because I know Lonzo Ball's power will not be higher than Magic Johnson. So you see how it works? Alright, so step number 4, do not claim your event rewards. This might be the toughest, especially if you grind all weekend to get your favorite player like Kobe or T-Mac. So we grinded the Gauntlet event. As soon as the event ends, the reward goes to your news box right in the bulletin. So you see it says Gauntlet reward, ONYX Tracy McGrady. He's going to sit there until I claim him. Do not claim your event rewards until you join a Domination bracket. This will give you a huge power increase to a position you have. So for example, if your shooting guard was 4,000 power, your power will increase since T-Mac has over 6k power. Now the next method I have not personally done, but there are players that have dropped their position before Domination. So I'll give you an example. My Kobe Bryant without mentors is 5,283. Once I claim T-Mac, I'm going to get a nice power increase, right? Because T-Mac is 6,068. Now what some players will do is, because they know they're going to get an ONYX shooting guard from claim their event reward, they will take all their shooting guards, every single one, so that they're only left with a 300 power shooting guard. So what happens with that is your team's power will drop tremendously because now you don't have a strong shooting guard. So this will force you to have a lower power bronze shooting guard on your team until Domination actually starts. Now, huge warning. The danger with doing this strategy is your team power could fall below the event power requirement for the top rewards. So be very careful. I'll be honest with you, this is why I don't do this strategy. But because I'm sharing all the tips that are out there inside the game, I figure I'll mention it to everyone since it is a strategy that people do use in the game. Step number 5, and this is a key tip for solo players. Join closer to the event start time or a few afters after it started. So as you can see on my screen, The event starts in 2 hours. So I can join right now since it's close to the start time, or I can wait till later in the afternoon to join, right? If you want to decrease your chances of being in a bracket with groups, you have to avoid joining the event immediately. The groups tend to join all together at time intervals, so don't get caught in that wave. Their goal is to help their entire group win their event rewards. So it will become tough for you to defend arenas against a bracket full of one alliance, especially when there are group members who weren't fortunate enough to get an arena. So don't get caught in that mix, right? If you're unlucky, you could end up in a bracket with 2 groups, and that is crazy because then the 2 groups start going against each other and it becomes a war, and you're the only person on your own. You don't want to be the only person in that bracket in the middle of a war. Sometimes you could change your avatar to whatever the groups are, but eventually they figure out that you're not part of it, and it becomes even worse because then they're going to go after you for being an imposter, and then it's going to be like Among Us. It's crazy, but don't take this chance, right? Because then it will be a really long weekend. So those are the steps for domination. Again, most of these steps are geared around solo players. That's how I tackle the event myself. It's not one of my favorite events because it requires a lot of work, right? You got to constantly be monitoring your device to make sure you have your arenas. You got to constantly be upgrading your team, which is cool, right? But in those, there might be some weekends where you just don't have the time to be on your device non-stop, right? It gets a little bit difficult to manage, right? With everything else you got going on, you got life, you got other hobbies that you're interested in, so you get the drift, right? But that's pretty much it. I hope this guide helps all players in the game. I do appreciate all the support you guys have been showing on the channel. We're doing amazing things and it's not gonna stop. All right, so again, thank you. If you're new to the game, I have other guides for Gauntlet. I have guides for getting good at the game in general, and I got pack opening videos since that seems to be what everybody enjoys watching the most. All right, so again, appreciate it. Peace out. Now, if we take a look at the sets, it's also really stacked, right? So we need to craft Eric Bledsoe, RJ Barrett, LeBron James, and Rashard Lewis is the reward that you get from playing domination. So if you are getting ONYX rewards, the Ruby reward will be your first one. So that should be easy to obtain. And then, as you saw earlier, Sean Kemp is the Amethyst reward for Gauntlet. So this Kobe Bryant, for the most part, is obtainable. And this Kobe Bryant, I just want to let you know, is a set exclusive, right? He's not available in any packs.